Welcome back to the ACB Wrestling Talk channel, your main source for wrestling news and wrestling discussions. I'm, of course, your host, Alexis Carrillo, and let's get into some wrestling talk. Over the past 2-3 weeks, we've been able to watch Dynamite on TNT. We've been able to watch what All Elite Wrestling brings to the table on a week-to-week basis. And even though it's only been, 3 weeks, 3 episodes of Dynamite, there are a few key factors that I've identified that show us that AEW has definitely got potential for the future. I'm not saying that they're going to compete directly with WWE by the next year, by the next 2 years, by 5 years from now, 10 years from now. That's not what I'm saying. But out of every single company out there, and this is something that everyone else anticipated, including myself, out of every single other company out there in the United States today, AEW is the one that is better positioned, but they also have to be very careful. Because when you tune into Dynamite on TNT, they've got the production on point in terms of being an alternative to WWE. They are the best ones so far, the best company, the best wrestling promotion, production-wise. But obviously, WWE is the king of production. They've proved that over decades. Even when WCW had more and more money with Ted Turner, WWE still had the best production, the best graphics, the best sets, the best lighting. Everything felt smoothly on WWE's part. So obviously, Dynamite and AEW still have to work on that. But for now, like I said, they are still the top in that rank over Ring of Honor, over Impact Wrestling, over any other minor promotions. One thing that, and again, going back to the production side, when you tune into Dynamite on TNT, you see a show that is identified, at least from the very first time you see it, that this, even though it's not WWE, this is the big time. This is as close to the big time as any company has gotten to WWE ever since WCW. That's clear, we all know that. But they also have to be very careful because right now they're the new kids on the block. They have this entire wave of momentum that they're riding to the top. Fans are, fans love the show. They tune in. They love the fact that there's this new alternative that isn't competing directly, but one day might. And fans, and if they do, it's going to be because of the fans. They know that, so AEW has really got to be careful with making the right moves on screen, making the right moves creatively. Because again, going back to past failed attempts like TNA back in 2010, the main objection to TNA wrestling becoming an alternative to WWE was the fact that they put over too many guys that had passed in WWE, that had a past in WCW, that had a past in ECW. And for now, AEW seems to be going down that route, with stars from WWE, with stars from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Those are the guys in the limelight. You have the main event for their upcoming pay-per-view Full Gear being Chris Jericho versus Cody, 2 former main eventers for the AEW World Championship. Of course, Cody founded the company, but that still doesn't remove the fact that he is a WWE, alumni. And you've got Jon Moxley, former WWE superstar, going up against Kenny Omega, former New Japan Pro Wrestling superstar. You got Pac, a former WWE superstar. You got Jake Hager, a former WWE superstar. They're building these guys to be the building blocks for the company, so that eventually when they do bring up to the main event scene and Adam Hangman Page, who started, I believe, in Ring of Honor Wrestling. So when they do build up an MJF who, has had quite a run on Major League Wrestling, when they do bring them up, they have guys that they can lean on and that they can depend on to make these up-and-comers into stars, into established stars for AEW. But they've also got to be, again, very careful not to overdo it. They've also got to be very careful to know when is the exact time to put the title on this guy. Make this kind of move creatively. They gotta be very careful. Even in the tag team side, like I said, fans are, pretty fickle in that way. The fact that in the past, TNA had all these former tag teams, former WWE superstars and women's wrestlers from other companies being a focal point of TNA wrestling, and now we kind of are getting the same thing with AEW, even with WWE in some points, and yet fans look the other way. So again, that's one thing we have to consider. But again, Dynamite is for now making the right moves. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to get to a point where AEW and Dynamite, they're not the new thing anymore. They're not the new guys on the block. They're not the cool thing to be watching or to be supporting. They're somewhat established, and now they might be struggling to keep the audience because now fans know what you provide, and you have to add to that. So I can't wait for that. But hey, those are just my thoughts on AEW's current status, current situation, and their direction that they're going to take in the future. But what do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with the fact that AEW might be in one of the best positions right now, but maybe in the future they might dwindle down? Or do you think if AEW plays their cards right, the momentum will just keep going up and they will eventually catch up to WWE, even though that seems pretty much impossible right now, at least in my mind? What do you think? Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions on the comments section below. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you dislike this video, hit the dislike button. That's it for me. Till next time.